Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss Degree 3rd SEM English Section A Grammar Items. So we all know that in the 3rd SEM we have 3 vocabulary items and 3 grammar items. Under vocabulary we have synonyms and antonyms, British and American English and idioms. And grammar we have prepositions, voice and connectives. So in the previous videos we have discussed synonyms and antonyms and prepositions from the first unit, and then British and American English and voice under second unit, and the links I'm providing here. You can just copy the links and they are also being given in the description box. You can watch those videos also. So now we are moving on to the third unit. We have under vocabulary and grammar, idioms and connectives. So we are going to discuss idioms right now. So what is an idiom? An idiom is a group of words with a figurative, non-literal meaning which can't be deciphered by looking at its individual words. For example, if you take this, let the cat out of the bag. So there is nothing to do with the cat and a bag. So you cannot rely upon the individual words. It's an idiom, it's an expression. We have to know the meaning of this expression. And you may also get a doubt, why should we use idioms in our speech? Idioms tell us that if a speaker is using idioms in his or her speech, that speaker is very proficient in the language. So let the cat out of the bag, you all know the meaning. That is, let the secret come out. Then I'm all ears. That means I'm paying a very keen attention. Come on, tell me, I'm all ears. That means I'm listening to you. You can't eat your cake and have it too. Means you cannot have two things at the same time. So these are the meanings of the idioms and we have to understand them clearly. Now if you move on to the exercise 1, choose the correct meaning of the idiom. The first idiom is to pay through the nose, and there are 4 alternatives given and you have to select the right alternative, and the meaning is to pay more for something than its actual worth. That time we can use the to pay through the nose idiom. The second one, to take something to heart, means a lot of worry or excitement about a situation that is not important. Sometimes we give unnecessary importance to unnecessary things. So that time, we should not take something to heart. Third one, to not have the stomach for something. And the meaning is to not feel interested, strong or brave enough to do something. When we are not interested or when we don't have the courage to do something, we can say not have the stomach for doing that. Then the fourth one is on the rocks, which means in trouble. You are on the rocks. That means you are in trouble. So this way we can use the idioms in our speech. Then the fifth one, to show someone the ropes. 4 alternatives are given and the right answer is to show someone what to do. That means to guide. Sixth one, to see red, means to become angry. So when a person becomes angry, we can say he's seeing red. And the seventh one, to hold the fort, means to do a job for someone. Example, while they are away or busy. When the job is delegated by someone, we can use he is holding the fort for him. Eighth one, to lead someone up the garden path, which means to deceive someone or often over a long period of time. That is nothing but cheating. Ninth one, to get something off your chest. That means to talk about something that has been worrying you for a long time. Sometimes, we don't feel like confiding in anyone, even our family members or anyone. Sometimes we feel free to talk to our friends. And when we let the worry out, when we confide in our friends, that means we are taking something off our chest. 10th one, to take a leaf out of someone's book, which means to follow someone's example. So these are some of the idioms we have discussed today. Now, next exercise, match the idiom in column 1 with the meaning in column 2. There are idioms in column 1 and the meanings are given in column 2. The first one, if something fits the bill, that means it is what is required. Second one, if you do something at the drop of a hat, that means you do it without hesitation, quick. If you don't bat an eye, means you show no reaction. If something has teething problems means it has difficulties at the start. If people are at loggerheads, that means they are in conflict. If something goes against the grain, means it isn't what you believe in. If you are penny wise, pound foolish, that means you manage your finances very badly. Then eighth one, if a race goes down to the wire, means it isn't clear until the last moment who will win. And ninth one, if something is like clockwork, that means it is punctual and regular. If something is no bed of roses, means it is very difficult. This is how you are going to match the idioms. Use them in your experiences. When you speak, see that you use these idioms. Then you will not forget them. The next one we are moving on to connectives. So what are connectives? Connectives are also called as linkers, cohesive devices and conjunctions. So connectives are words or phrases that link sentences and organize text. So without connectives, the text cannot be organized. The meaning will not be um, understood easily. There will be logical sequence when you use connectives. And they are like signposts that indicate how ideas are connected to each other and how ideas leads to another. One idea leads to another. So when we write a paragraph or when we speak a paragraph, then all the ideas have to be connected properly. And the words which are used to connect them are called connectives, like they are the signposts. Now, there are a few functions of connectives. Connectives convey different types of relation. They can be classified into different categories based on the function they perform. The first function is to add further information. So when you are going on adding information, giving lot of information, you need particular kind of linkers like additionally, furthermore, moreover, like that. The next function is to develop the logical sequence of ideas. Logically, it should be done in an order. For example, you are discussing water formation. How does the water form? Or how does the rain form? The water evaporates, then condenses, and then falls down as rain. So there's an order. There's an order in a process. So when you describe a particular process, it should be logically sequenced. So you require these connectives. For example, initially, finally, firstly, later, all these things. Then emphasizing connectives, they help highlight certain points. When you are particularly highlighting a point, you use like especially and emphasizing connectives are used. Then comparing connectives. When you compare something, you use certain connectives like similarly. Compare two ideas or to show similarity. Then the next function is to show the difference between two ideas like whereas, but, however and all. Then the next function is explain why something happens, a cause. So consequently, eventually, gradually and all. The last function is to provide examples. When you are providing examples, you are illustrating them and you use some connectives. So now there are several other connectives that perform different functions. Take a look at the words given in the box and find out their meaning with the help of a dictionary. You don't require a dictionary because they are all familiar connectives. They are also called as cohesive devices. There are 60 of them here. I'll read some of them for you. But, therefore, soon, for instance, surely, in fact, hence, for example, also, however, in the meantime, on the other hand, furthermore, thus, an example of this, like that, so on and so forth. So you can read on your own and understand those connectives. Now, the exercise, now write the connectives against the appropriate category in the columns given below. The types of connectives categories are given here. Examples you have to right here. First example is addition. When you add ideas, what are the connectives you are going to use? Like both, also, furthermore, moreover, eventually. Contrast. When you are contrasting the ideas, you use but, however, whereas, yet, on the other hand, on the contrary. Then similarity. Examples likewise, similarly, besides, indeed, undoubtedly. Cause and reaction. Because, therefore, in fact, hence, thus, notably. Effect and results. When you are talking about effect and results, as a consequence, therefore, consequently, finally, and the time connectives are until, soon, in the meantime, next, while, after, and so on. Examples such as, for instance, for example, an example of this. List. When you are listing or sequencing, you use initially, first, uh, again initially, alternatively, secondly, thirdly. When you are summarizing, you use briefly, surely, in other words, on the whole. So these are only a few examples I have given. There are hundreds of connectives. As you use them, you will be familiarizing yourself and you become proficient. So use as many connectives as possible. Only with connectives you gain proficiency in your language. Now moving on to exercise 1, choose the appropriate connective. Dash, we started late, we still arrived in time, although or in spite of. Which one? Although we started late, we still arrived in time. Many people in the office tried to help us, they were friendly. Dash, they were friendly too. I love carom. Dash, my friends prefer cricket. I love carom, whereas my friends prefer cricket. This is a contrasting connective. Dash, I didn't know anyone at the party. I left early. So this is the cause and the reason. So as I did not know anyone at the party, I left early. Manu wanted to watch the film. Dash, he fell asleep halfway through. So this is again a contradictory uh, contrasting connective but. Next exercise, fill in the gaps with a suitable connective. More than one connective may be possible. So it's not that only the connectives are fixed, you can use some other alternatives also. They took a map along dash, they lost their way. However, they lost their way. She had sprained her ankle dash that she managed to participate in the dance competition. In spite of that, my handwriting is terrible. My sister's handwriting is beautiful. But she came late to the exam hall dash she forgot to bring a pen. In addition, she forgot to bring a pen. He is a bad driver dash he hasn't had any accidents. Yet he hasn't had any accidents. Next text. Link the sentences in a logical way with an appropriate connective. Do not repeat the connectives. The firm was doing badly. It was closed. Since the firm was doing badly, it was closed. This is a cause and effect. It is your money. You can do what you like with it. This is also since it is your money, you can do whatever you like with it. The connectives can be used between the sentences or at the beginning also you can use. The program was cancelled. All the tickets had been sold out. Although the program was cancelled, all the tickets had been sold out. It is very hot. Turn on the air conditioner. Since it is very hot, turn on the air conditioner. I slipped and fell. I fractured my knee joint. So I think you are all able to understand how to connect the ideas. See, these are the two ideas we have in the mind. So we have to use an appropriate connective so that it makes a logical idea. As I slipped and fell, I fractured my knee joint. This is how you are going to improve upon your proficiency and you become a good speaker or a good writer. Read the sentences and correct the errors in the use of connectives. The wrong connectives are given. We have to use the correct ones. I will call you wherever I have the results. But the right answer is whenever I have the results. You keep my books when you like. You keep my books as long as you like. My sister went shopping. Moreover, she didn't buy anything. but she didn't buy anything. This is a contrasting send ideas. That's why we have to use but. My nephew is good at languages because my niece is good at maths. The wrong connective. So right connective is whereas. My nephew is good at languages, whereas my niece is good at maths. It was getting late, though the guests didn't leave. And the right connective is but. So this is how you are going to use, and you will be able to use the right connectives. So read as much as possible. When you read the text, take a pencil and start underlining the connectives. Every paragraph will have so many connectives, and try to categorize them. What type of categories are they? Are they adding information? Are they adding the ideas? Are they contrasting, or are they referring to any time? All those things you must be in a position to identify. Then the exercise. Rearrange the jumbled sentences in a proper order using hints provided by the connectives. So you have to first identify the connectives and then you have to rearrange. These are all mixed up. So I have already given the numbers. So these are the helpful words, the italics which are given, that you have to take the help, and first you have to read all these sentences, try to understand the situation and then arrange them. This is about an accident on National Highway 65. So the first sentence is here. On Friday night, two buses collided in heavy rain on National Highway 65. So this appears to be the first sentence. Two buses, because we are talking about the collision between two buses. And then the next one. One was a sleeper bus going to Hyderabad. So this could be the next sentence. Then the third sentence is, the other one was a Volvo bus in which a marriage party was traveling from Hyderabad to Pune. Next, both the vehicles suffered considerable damage though. Next, in spite of this damage, the two vehicles managed to reach the nearby depot. Then, luckily, there was no loss of life, but the drivers and 5 passengers sustained minor injuries. Then, eyewitnesses said that neither of the vehicles was speeding at the time of the accident. Then, however, because of the heavy rain, the drivers could not see the danger until a few seconds before the collision. Eyewitnesses, the ninth one, consequently, there was no time for them to avoid the accident. Then a spokesperson for the RTA said a committee of inquiry would be set up to investigate the matter and look into the cause. And the last sentence is, the official added that the principal secretary, Ministry of Transport, would be heading the committee. So this is a little bit of complicated exercise. All of you have to pay attention and you have to get a mastery over identifying the logical sequence of a text or of a paragraph. And this is a sure shot question. In the examination, definitely they will give jumbled up sentences and you have to rearrange them. Give the numbers or write the paragraph once again. Depending upon the instruction, you can do it in the exam. Here you have to rearrange the jumbled sentences in a proper order. So you have to rewrite them. So in today's class, we have learnt the idioms and the connectives. Hope you all have understood. If you have any queries or doubts, please do not hesitate to mention them in the comment sections. Thanks for watching, and if this tutorial had made sense, please like, share and do not forget to subscribe. That means a lot for me. Okay, bye-bye for now and let's meet up in the next video. Bye, take care.